Coming up on this edition of Real to Real.
Increasing violence targeting Catholics and all Christians in Nigeria. I'm Kathy Harrington, and I'll bring you an update.
The 40 Days for Life Witness Why It Matters. I'm Carolee McGrath. I'll have the story coming up.
And we continue our series on the July Catholic Communications Jubilee Year pilgrimage to Italy as the pilgrims conclude their journey, passing through the last of 4 holy doors. These stories and more are just ahead on Real to Real. Hello and welcome to Real on this second weekend of Advent. We begin with troubling news out of Nigeria. Reports of more than 400 people abducted in the last 3 weeks. Most are children, including 250 school children and 12 teachers from a Catholic school. Father Kingsley Ihejirika, administrator of St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Parish in Northampton, is in contact with the school, orphanage, and hospital he founded in his home state of Imo, Nigeria. Kathy Harrington met up with him and has this report.
It's genocide. People have called it that. It's everything you can imagine that is evil.
Father Kingsley Ihejirika says the growing number of attacks on Christians makes Nigeria one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Returning in November to testify before a House Committee on Foreign Affairs investigating the persecution of Christians, Bishop Wilfred Anokbe from the Diocese of Makurdi in Benue says more Christians are killed there each year than in the rest of the world combined.
Without quick intervention, Christianity risks elimination in parts of northern and middle belt Nigeria within a very short time.
Father Kingsley calls the bandits behind the attacks well-armed, organized, and financially supported.
They come with an agenda, and I believe that this agenda is set by the top leadership of the Islamic organization in Nigeria. Okay, so these people are the faces of that hierarchy. They represent them and their agenda and their ideology.
The mass kidnappings target schools and churches and include priests and children as young as 5 years old.
It's interesting that they have been targeting little, high school children, and perhaps they have been able to determine that there is less security there and these children are more vulnerable.
Kidnapped girls may be sold into slavery, sexually assaulted, even married off to men who abuse them. While paying ransom in Nigeria is illegal, the families do whatever they can to rescue their loved ones.
The saddest part of it is that it's not just the Nigerians living in Nigeria, it's also all of us who live in the diaspora. We're worried about siblings, brothers, sisters, cousins, students that I have at school. They are terrorized. They are traumatized. So how could you sleep when you know that people who you love, who are a part of your life, are in such danger?
Father Kingsley says the level of faith people have in Nigeria is amazing, even as every institution has failed them.
For most of them, God is the only being who has not failed them and is still capable of providing some hope to them. That's where they go. The whole country would be hopeless if not for their faith in God.
Late last month, Pope Leo made an appeal calling for the immediate release of the hostages. He then asked the faithful to pray. Father Kingsley says the children at his schools pray the rosary daily, asking for the Blessed Mother's intercession and protection. Father Kingsley says he hopes children here will also remember those children in their prayers. In Florence, I'm Kathy Harrington for Real to Real.
Now in other news, the 40 Days for Life campaign, which relies on a prayerful witness in front of Planned Parenthood, wrapped up in late fall with the testimony of a former manager of a Planned Parenthood facility in Texas. Ramona Trevino shared her conversion story with local pro-life advocates. Carolee McGrath has the story.
Ramona, how in the world did you end up at Planned Parenthood?
Ramona Trevino, a former Planned Parenthood manager, spoke at a midpoint rally for the 40 Days for Life campaign in late October at Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Parish in Westfield. Trevino, who is from Texas, flew up to the Northeast to give support to local 40 Days for Life campaigns in New England. Trevino worked at a Planned Parenthood abortion referral facility in Sherman, Texas for 3 years before she resigned in 2011. Her center didn't do abortions, but she referred many women for abortions.
Like a lot of people, I justified and rationalized working for Planned Parenthood because we didn't do abortions where I worked. And so many people have this idea that, well, I'm not personally involved or I personally wouldn't have an abortion, but every woman has a right to choose. And so that was kind of my mentality too.
But Ramona, a Catholic who had fallen away from the faith, stumbled upon Catholic radio, and she says that wasn't by accident. And that started her and her husband on a journey back to the church.
I personally wasn't, for abortion for myself, but it was okay for other women to choose that. And then it was actually after a 40 Days for Life campaign in which I had gone out and reached out for prayers. And upon reaching out for those prayers, I tell people that it was like the floodgates of grace poured out and opened up. And I started to see things more clearly. It's almost as if I could hear God's voice more clearly, and understood at that point that I could no longer be someone who was complicit in abortions.
Her resignation led to the clinic going out of business. Since the international campaign began, more than 26,000 babies have been saved and 184 abortion clinics have closed. Ramona says the public witness definitely matters, whether you're out here alone or with a group. She says when an abortion-minded woman sees people praying, it makes her think twice about that decision that can't be undone.
There's a lot of things that go unseen. For example, even for the impact that public witness and presence has on the workers, on the employees, because I've been on the inside and I know how they react, I know how they respond to the presence of people being on the sidewalk. So just even that alone, if you don't see a conversion or somebody leave the industry, just knowing that you're there and that physical presence on the sidewalk pricks the consciences of those who work inside the abortion industry.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us.
The last week of the 40 Days for Life campaign, Bishop William Byrne led the rosary outside of Planned Parenthood in Springfield.
It's so important that we keep praying for the sanctity of human life. Recently, there's a bill proposed in the Massachusetts House that would require no parental consent for an abortion, which opens up possibilities of human trafficking, rape and incest without even a parent knowing about it. And so lives are in danger here and across the country, and that's why we need to keep our prayers for people to awaken to the truth of the dignity of the human person.
Father Dan Pekalik, the director of pro-life activities and the pastor of Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Church, where Ramona spoke, says her story and the proven results of the 40 Days for Life campaign should encourage everyone to remain persistent in prayer.
If something's been proven to work in other places, there's no reason it shouldn't work here. So it's great that we're following that lead.
The next 40 Days for Life campaign kicks off on Ash Wednesday. Reporting for Real to Real, I'm Carolee McGrath.
And an update for you on a local pro-life ministry. Alternatives Pregnancy Care Center in Greenfield will be closing at the end of the year. The center served women in Franklin County since 1987. The numbers served in recent years have declined, due in part to abortion medications and a changing political climate, according to Deacon George Nolan, president of the board. Alternatives will be in touch with other pregnancy care centers to ensure they are prepared to assist future clients. And still to come on Real to Real, we continue our series on our local Catholic Communications pilgrimage to Italy with the pilgrims wrapping up their last day in Rome. And Nick Morganelli will have the story of Pittsfield parishioners celebrating Advent by creating their own Advent wreaths. It's all still ahead on Real to Real.
Like Catholic TV on Facebook. Once you're there, you can join in on discussions, make friends with other Catholic TV fans, watch behind-the-scenes videos from the studio,
just finished this
and stay up to date with the Catholic world. All this at facebook.com/CatholicTV.
I'm Kathy Harrington in Holyoke at the corner of Hamilton and Clemente Streets, site of one of 2 apartment building fires this week that has left dozens of families without a place to live. Fire started late afternoon on Monday in the 4-story apartment building on Roberto Clemente Street, across from Providence Ministries, where families found temporary shelter.
We opened our doors immediately. Kate's kitchen downstairs was open to get people out and into somewhere dry and safe.
Helping their neighbors, Providence Ministry staff opened Margaret's pantry to get food supplies.
We were taking kind of a list of things that were needed at the time. So food and dry clothing and socks and shoes and blankets.
Laredo House, a warming shelter for the city of Holyoke, had been set up Monday morning to prepare for the expected drop in temperatures. Cots now ready in case they were needed for the fire victims. Then Tuesday morning, another fire just blocks away.
So the fire happened on High and Franklin, and they were triaging families at the War Memorial, but families instinctively came here, so we had families that came here immediately.
Once again, all the resources of Providence Ministries were made available.
We went to St. Jude's Clothing Center. We were able to provide them clothing as well, coats and socks and hats and gloves. It was very cold on top of that. And as soon as they were done collecting items there, we had them come to us at Kate's Kitchen. We opened our doors early. We made them breakfast.
More than 100 people displaced by the fires are now being assisted through multiple community agencies. In Holyoke, I'm Kathy Harrington.
We are entering into the heart of the Christmas season with this winter issue of the Catholic Mirror. We've filled the pages with stories that shine with hope, generosity, and the quiet miracles that unfold when people choose to serve others. In our cover story, Kathy Harrington shares how parishioners from Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament in Westfield are sending Christ's love across the globe through the Box of Joy program, filling gift boxes that bring Christmas cheer to children living in extreme poverty. Bishop William Byrne reflects in his column on the celebration of this Jubilee Year of Hope, saying that true hope lives on in all of us through our daily lives. Hope also echoes from across the world, with Steve Kiltonick recounting how a Williamstown parishioner helped restore a historic church bell in Nagasaki, Japan. Closer to home, Carolee McGrath introduces us to a new oratory at St. Mary's Parish School in Westfield, dedicated to St. Carlo Acutis. Readers will also be inspired to witness the faith and hope that came alive for more than 500 men and women who took part in the day-long Catholic men's and women's conferences this fall. And this month's parish angels, Michelle and Pat Anachiarico of Ludlow, embody the spirit of giving through Second Times a Charm, providing more than 1,800 prom dresses to high school girls in need. As this Jubilee Year of Hope comes to an end, we will continue to bring you stories of faith and hope in 2026. Over the last month, we've been following Father Gary Daly and a group of local pilgrims as they visited scenic and sacred sites throughout Italy during this Jubilee Year of Hope. Today, we join them on their final day in Rome, where they spent the first part enjoying the sights before entering their fourth and final holy door at the Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls. And what marks an epic journey's end better than a farewell dinner?
Our final day in Rome begins with leisure and personal exploration of the Eternal City. Many of our pilgrims take advantage of shopping, finding those last-minute souvenirs, religious items, and gifts to bring home to friends and family. In the late afternoon, we board the bus for our farewell dinner, but first, we make an important stop to walk through our fourth and final holy door at St. Paul outside the walls. This basilica is one of the 4 papal basilicas of Rome, the second largest basilica after St. Peter's. According to tradition, the church lies on the site where the Apostle Paul was buried. Here, the Christians erected a memorial chapel, later transformed into a basilica by the Emperor Constantine and consecrated in 394 by Pope Sylvester. Much of the basilica was destroyed in 1823 by a fire. Many countries made donations for the restoration of the church, which was reopened in 1840. Unfortunately, only few parts of the medieval basilica remained intact. The atrium, located in the exterior, is one of the most noteworthy parts of the church. It's made up of 150 columns. From here, visitors can see the facade of the basilica covered by an enormous golden mosaic built between 1854 and 1874, which reflects the rays of sunlight. The center of the portico houses a colossal statue of St. Paul. The interior of the Basilica of St. Paul is magnificent, with enormous marble columns and beautiful gold mosaics. Some of the mosaics housed here date from the 13th century. There is also a large 12th century chandelier. It is not a traditional chandelier, but an ornate candelabrum, about 5.6 meters tall, and is decorated with scenes from the Passion and Resurrection of Christ. Beneath the papal altar is the marble tombstone of St. Paul, under which lie his remains. On the basilica's walls, visitors are able to observe portraits of each of the popes throughout history. Situated within the grounds of this papal basilica is a Benedictine abbey with an active community. The monastery dates back to the 6th century, with Pope Gregory II considered its main founder. The Benedictine monks are the custodians of the basilica and provide confessions, celebrate liturgies, and promote the basilica's function as a center for Christian unity. We are blessed to be greeted by Abbot Donato Ogliari, the abbot of this monastery and former abbot at the monastery of Monte Cassino. Abbot Ogliari is very gracious, speaking with our pilgrims, posing for a group picture, and giving us his blessing. This unexpected encounter provides a fitting closure to our long spiritual journey. We now proceed to our restaurant in Trastevere to enjoy our farewell dinner. Our pilgrims are greeted by traditionally dressed waiters and entertainers who serve an amazing Italian feast and entertain us with music and sing-alongs and even some dancing. What a great way to end an amazing journey of faith and fun in Italy during this Jubilee year.
Kiss me goodnight.
And we'd like to thank Father Gary for writing and videographer-editor Bill Pecoscia for documenting and producing these wonderful segments. We are not finished yet, though. Next week, we will look back at some of the pilgrims' other activities during the trip, including their visits to Pompeii and the beautiful island of Capri. And next, we head to Pittsfield, where the spirit of the season is shining bright. St. Charles Parish hosted its 3rd annual Advent wreath-making event, a joyful way to begin the journey of this season of hope and anticipation. Families shared quality time, crafted meaningful traditions, and celebrated what makes this time of year so special. Nick Morganelli brings us into the festive fun.
Snowflakes gently fell in Berkshire County as the new liturgical year began. St. Charles pastor Father Matt Barone started by blessing and lighting the parish Advent wreath.
May the wreath and its light be a sign of Christ's promise to bring us salvation.
He explained the meaning behind this ritual that marks the 4 weeks of preparation before Christmas.
We're getting ready. We're preparing ourselves for the light of the world to come to us at Christmas. And so each week we light a different candle to guide us toward that light.
Before heading to the children's liturgy, students answered some questions about Advent from Father Matt.
It's a great opportunity to teach them in real time, right, in the real liturgy and the real Mass, that they can see it and understand and make the connections between class and the liturgy of the year.
The Advent wreath has a long history. It began as a pagan symbol, but medieval Christians in Germany were the first to adopt it as a sign of preparing for Christ's coming. The purple candles represent hope, peace, and love. And the pink candle lit on the third week carries a special meaning.
It's that rejoice, it's that celebratory week where we say, okay, Jesus is coming, and so we light that pink candle to remind us of that.
After Mass, the wreath-making event got underway, but only after families enjoyed some refreshments.
It's a great opportunity for our parish to come together as a family and to get ourselves ready for Christmas. We did it in the parish that I grew up in, and each night at supper, one of us would take a turn lighting the candle, and that was a big deal.
Families reserved their spot and how many Advent wreaths they needed so they could order the floral rings and the charger plates and, of course, the fresh greens. After that, putting it together is just part of family fun and a lot of love.
It's a fun family tradition. We get a wreath out of it, and it's a good family event that we can come to and spend some time with my kid.
So what makes this special?
Being with my family.
The children of the Callahan family are getting quite good at this, especially Lily. Her wreath was the most symmetrical that I spotted.
They've become perfectionists at the wreath building now. So, the first year it was a little chaotic, but now it's very precise and they need everything to be perfect in their Advent wreath.
And their participation doesn't end here.
Each night they take a turn, who lights the candle, and who gets to blow it out.
For Jorge Aguilera and Juana Reyes and their daughter, this was their very first experience with any Advent wreath.
This is our first years we're doing this. I'm from Ecuador. We do something a little bit different, but I never done this. So I'm learning, coming to the church. I'm very happy that he's doing this to educate our community and educate us and our kids. So it's good. It was a nice experience, for our family and for my daughter.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen.
Father Matt ended the experience by thanking everyone and giving a blessing.
Lord God, let your blessing come upon us and upon these wreaths.
Journeying through Advent with families at St. Charles in Pittsfield, for Real to Real, I'm Nick Morganelli.
And this weekend, 2 lit candles serve as a sign of hope and peace that will arrive with the birth of the infant Jesus. Finally, a mission trip to Africa 20 years ago left a lasting impression on one Michigan woman. Rachel O'Neill wanted to send a message of hope to girls laboring all day in the heat. She began sewing simple dresses for them, and the message spread, and today more than 10 million dresses have been sewn. Locally, a Granby woman is part of that success. Kathy Harrington has more.
A warm golden Saturday in October, the kind of day you want to savor before winter sets in. But in the parish center of the Immaculate Heart of Mary in Granby, an army of ladies are spending this day making dresses for little girls they will never meet. Thanks to Rita Lervier.
I had been busy with my 10 children and my husband, but it was a time when they were all gone. So what am I going to do? And I saw this article in the little Guidepost magazine. I said, oh, I can do that, make little dresses. That's how I started.
Lervier got the simple pattern and began to sew.
The original was a pillowcase, you're right, yes. Yeah, they called the pillowcase dresses. And then straight pillow, fold it, cut armhole, and that was it. I changed the pattern right away because that's how I liked it. I didn't like just one color.
No buttons, no zippers, just a simple sundress, so no repairs would be needed.
I'm alone now, so it gives me something to do, which is fun. I put the radio on and sew for the little girls. I love it. That's the reason I do it, because it gives me such a good feeling to know that somebody needed it and is getting it.
The idea is to plant the seeds of hope into the hearts of little girls living in some of the poorest regions of the world. These beautiful dresses are meant to build confidence and inspire them to the possibilities open to them. Since joining the effort in 2017, Lervier's made about 2,000 dresses. Time spent sewing, reminding her of days gone by and sewing for her own little girls. Daughter Isla Smith here this day for the Parish Sewing Circle.
My friend said, Isla, you should try to get people together and have more help for this. And I was like, well, where are we going to do that? And she said, ask at the church. So we did, and he's been very gracious to let us do this. And we have now, and each time we get together, more and more people come.
Twice a year, notices go out in the bulletin for a day of sewing little dresses for Africa.
I put them together and make a little kit. So when people come, they just take the kit and it has everything in there that they need. And a lot of people that came today took some home. So they'll make some at home and bring them over Mom's when they're done.
Just line them up and then we pass them out and we pray with them.
Over the summer, Smith and her mom traveled to Michigan to meet Little Dresses for Africa founder Rachel O'Neill.
That was wonderful. That was amazing. She's an amazing woman.
O'Neill's ministry has grown. Dresses pour in from all around the world. And now, it's not just dresses. There are breeches for boys, wells providing clean water, and there are schools. As for Rita Lervier, missionary priests visiting the Immaculate Heart of Mary are given dresses to take back with them.
One of them, she gave him 25, and he went back and put all the little girls in it and took a picture and sent it to the secretary of the church. So Mom does have that picture with all those little girls wearing the dresses, so that's pretty special.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, she loves that. She loves that picture.
From her basement sewing workshop in Granby, Rita Lervier sends her love to little girls thousands of miles away. I'm Kathy Harrington for Reel to Reel.
And if you would like more information, we have a link for you at iobserve.org. And that's our program for today. Thank you so much for joining us. For all of the latest news of the Catholic Church right here in Western Massachusetts and around the world, you can head over to iobserve.org. There you'll find concise and accurate news on the Catholic Church. This past week, these stories included Pope Leo's first papal trip to Turkey and Lebanon. It can all be found at iobserve.org. And we are also on Facebook, so follow us there at Catholic Communications. I'll see you at this same time again next week for Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Stay warm.
Reel to Reel is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.